You did the intro last time. I'll do the intro
that's
this
what I'm
time.
saying. You do it then.
All right.
How are they going to be able to tell?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cryptwins.
Got so much crap up here.
As always, I'm Michael,
I'm Adam.
and that's Adam, as he said. Hello. And we're going to be going over kind of a different state than we talked about last week, considering we're both inept in the alphabetical listing of the states.
I'm pretty sure I said Alabama
Nope.
first. Did I
I've
not?
watched it like twice.
Okay.
We both said Alaska like 5 times.
I was really excited. It's about the ice place. I just think think it's going to be a lot better up there.
Welcome to Alabama.
We're doing Alabama
We're
today.
doing Alabama. So that's all we're really going into. We just had to have a dumb moment between the two of us.
I keep forgetting your trackpad doesn't work.
Okay. But so last week I went first talking about the skunk ape. So this week Adam gets to go first, and your cryptid of the day is.
It's called the Downy Booger.
That's disgusting.
And I know it sounds stupid, or it sounds weird. So apparently back in the 1800s when this thing was first sighted, that's kind of the terminology they use for different, I guess, bad things or monsters. They would call them boogers. It's not like today where it's somebody shoving their finger up their face and pulling stuff out. No. It's a monster. That's what they called it.
That was graphic.
Yeah, well, we're still family friendly. So going into it, it was pretty interesting doing the research on this one because some of the stuff I did find out actually has records to back it up. So the first sighting was back in about 1890. Is around 1880s to 1890 is when it was first saw. And it was seen by John and Joe Downey from the Downey family that lived in Alabama in Winston County. So the story goes that they were walking down the road after a party that was at Oscar Tittle. It was at his house, but the road that they were going down only had 2 houses on it, and they were walking back towards their home. So on the way back, they saw something in the middle of the road that they described as being between a man and an animal, but combined. When they saw it, their horses went up on their back legs, freaked out, neighed and brayed and everything, and did not want to go that way. So, what?
What does braid mean?
Braid is like the sound that a donkey makes when they bray. It's not neighing, but it's a different sound.
There's 2 different words?
Yes, braying that's what I've heard for
no
donkeys, and if I'm going to sound stupid, I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to disprove myself right now. But anyway, so they neighed and freaked out because they saw this thing. They snorted, and they threw them from the saddles. They bolted the opposite direction, and they got their horses back down and started back home. Coming back to the area where they saw the creature, or whatever it was, the horses stopped dead in their tracks. They would not move forward. They would not budge from where their hoof prints were before.
Okay.
They tried getting at them with their ankles, trying to goad the horses along and stuff.
The spurs
Definitely would not move.
Huh.
So that caused them to take a longer route home down a road called Byler Road through a small town called Lynn. And oddly enough, when I was doing my research on it, I found out that there actually was a Byler Road back then, and the Byler Road now, which is a smaller version than what it used to be, but it's still in Winston County up in Alabama. I'll show a map in just a moment. So there was another sighting a few months later, still around 1890 time frame, and it was a family that was returning home from church. And the way that some places did church events is that they were gone for about 3 days at this church event. That's like
It's like a retreat.
yeah, it's like a retreat thing. They were on their way home. Same road that took them down that way. Same road that those 2 boys were on. Saw a creature, freaked out everybody inside the little convoy that they had with their family, and they turned and ran the other direction again. And then the last sighting that I actually was able to find was a little bit later, probably around 1895-ish to 1900s, early 1900s, there was a guy named Jim Jackson who was making homemade moonshine that he was taking to the commissary at the mining town named Galloway. So when he was on his way towards Galloway, he said that it felt like he was being followed or tracked or something. And when he finally turned around and looked back, he said that he claimed that he saw a creature that was standing on both hind legs and looked like a man and an animal combined. And it freaked him out. He didn't know what to think of it. So instead of trying to outrun it, because he had donkeys that were carrying his moonshine,
who were braying.
Yes. So instead of like making them run, because he would lose all of his moonshine, he just turned around with his revolver and shot it twice. He fired twice at it. He said it screeched like a woman in pain, and it limped down the road on three legs. So it's a weird story, and apparently, at least from what I've read around different things, talk about Winston County and that part of Alabama, people do continuously just say, hey, this actually happened, this actually happened, this actually happened. There is like different...
Even now.
Yeah, there's different places inside of the county that... I was looking at that one article, the guy was talking about it, where there's actually like a cardboard cutout, basically, of what people think it looks like, or what they reported at, and how big it was. And unfortunately, from what that article was saying, it was a Bigfoot convention. So who knows? I mean,
back
it could.
When?
The convention that took place was, I think, back in, I had it pulled up, but it was earlier this year. Not this year, earlier like this decade, basically.
Oh, okay. In like past 2000s.
Yeah. And that's one thing that worries me, is the fact that if it's not another thing entirely, it's probably just another Sasquatch story. However, this one has been documented, and it's been retold. There's actually proof of the people who told the story in the first place, actual census records that show the people living there in the first place, and maps that actually coincide with today. So that's what I'm going to show up really quick. You closed out of my PowerPoint.
I did.
Oh, okay, there. So
No, I did not.
I don't know if you guys can see it, so I'm going to go ahead and put this into the display mode. Where is it? Oh, it's down here. Bam. So this is the map from 1880.
I don't think they're going to see that thing right here. Is that the road you're talking about?
Yeah, so if you see right here, and you're probably not going to hear me for a second, but there is a road right here, and it says Byler Road, right along this line. And then you got Blackwater Creek here, and then a bigger creek that runs this way. And
all right, for people who can't watch, Bryler Road is west of, what is that, Cheatham Road?
Chetham's Road.
Chetham's Road.
Towards Double Springs. Then you've got Blackwater Creek. That's to the east of this road, of Byler Road as well. So now if I go to this next slide, if you're listening, this next slide is going to be from Google Maps. So on Google Maps, you can already see there's a striking resemblance to the other map. There's actually, you've got the road running alongside on the west portion of Winston County, running straight down the west side, going east. You see Lynn, which is talked about in the story as well, and then you have your big creek going along this way. Blackwater Creek is diminished now, but it should be around this area. So now I have not composite, but I put the two together.
Enhance.
So where you can see.
That's crazy.
So it's really, really, I mean, even if for the 1800s or 1880 when this was made, this is very, very close to what Google sees now. I mean, there's a little bit more creek runoff and things like that, so it could be there was a little bit more water that was around the area back then that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But based off of the story, if the boys were walking down Byler Road, which is now, it looks like State Road 13, if they were going down State Road 13 and, excuse me, worked their way this way, Lynn is right there. Byler Road, the old Byler Road, is this way. So from the story, they would have had to take Byler Road down, go down to Lynn, which is down to the northeast, and that's exactly where it is right there. And that's kind of cool. I mean, it's there. The whole Byler Road thing is there. The town of Lynn is there. Mm-hmm. I don't know where Galloway would be. I didn't look that part up, but that should have been done. Either way, that's pretty interesting to me. So, with that being said, let me pull up also. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me put this down. There is the census record that I was going to pull up. So, the census record.
Oh, did you already have it pulled up?
Is this your emails? Yeah, I need to find my email that I sent you.
It's right there. It's on it. With the maps.
Is this the sources one?
There's the map one.
No, I know, but I sent you another one.
No. Is it stuck in your outbox?
Oh, no, but I can find it. Go to Google. Freaking.
Well, while he looks that up, we found out, oddly enough, the next monster we're going to be talking about is actually... It's really close to the same area. And holy crap.
What?
It's the same website I pulled my information from.
freestateofwinston.org?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Same. So.
And my census information is all on there, too.
Really?
Yep.
That's hilarious. So
there's this website called the freestateofwinston.org. I believe it's made by the city government of Winston. And it's got census documents from all the way back into like the 1830s and before, which is pretty cool. Very strange, really, the amount of the amount of information that's out there about this town from back then. But yeah, it goes back as far as 1850.
All right, it should be in your mailbox now.
Okay,
there we go. Okay, go to that one.
This one?
Yep. So, here is 1880 Federal Census Surname Index from the Winston County. And if I
Control F.
zoom in,
Enhance.
right there.
Right
it's
where?
not spelled the same. However, I mean, it's there though. That's kind of interesting to me that these people would be there. But I mean, like I said, this is a story that prevails a bunch of different places, a bunch of different generations there. They tell the story apparently a lot, and if you bring it up, people will say it's fact. That's pretty much how it is.
That's interesting.
At least that's what I've read. And then I saw also other things where it looked like somebody had wrote a story about it. But the problem with the story was that they tried to say that it happened in a different portion of town, a different county altogether. And lastly, there's actually a video or a documentary about it that's on YouTube as well. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
At the end, I will find it and I'll plug it, see if it's interesting or not. It seems pretty cool. So, but that's pretty much all I got on the Downey Booger, which to me sounds like another Sasquatch story, but it is pretty interesting to me. And but there are no other pictures of it or anything because of when it happened. Some people believe it died. Some people believe that it just disappeared. So
is there anything else, like, are there any creatures in Alabama that could... Do they have bears and stuff?
I believe they do.
I hadn't even checked that out for mine.
So they're already there. So
we're going to check and see if they've got bears. So we're going to try and see, what creature could really take place. I mean, all of them say it's like 7 foot tall.
Yes. About 7 feet tall, pretty big.
Now, did these people, like the people back when they were looking at the church and stuff and that guy shot it, did it do anything or did it just stood there?
So that was the other sighting. It was Jim. Dang it.
Either way,
Jim Johnson. He was the guy that shot at it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jim Jackson. I apologize. Jim Jackson, he shot it, and when he shot it, he said it fell to 3 legs and then crept away. Like he clipped it in the arm.
Weird.
So he clipped in the arm, and instead of running away bipedally, it went down on 3 legs and then ran away. And
Like an ape.
Like an ape. And then he said that it screeched like a woman in pain, and then it wasn't seen again.
Weird.
So, actually, I forgot about that too. With that, after he finished his delivery of moonshine, he gathered up a posse from the town of Galloway and went to the forest to try to find the thing, found a blood trail that went nowhere. It just kind of like they followed the blood stopped, nothing.
Huh.
They had no idea where it went.
Wonder if it stopped the bleeding.
Possibly. But then again, if it goes into like these cryptid things, if they are supernatural creatures, which some people believe they are,
It just like disappeared out of existence.
it either disappeared or just jumped, went super fast to the point to where a blood trail would be spread out to the point to where you wouldn't be able to find it anymore.
That's weird.
Let's see. Let's see where Alabama bears have been seen.
Alabama Bears. I don't. Well, never mind. It says, look, they have a black bear.
Yeah.
Oh,
But black bears, I don't think got that big.
I don't know. I don't have all the information on black bears.
I don't either. See, but that doesn't make sense, actually. So,
No, the northern part of it all happened in the northern part of Alabama, and that's where a big portion of those sightings look like they've been seen.
well, yeah, but for mine, Winston is up here. In this county up here.
Weird.
Which,
So it looks like they would have seen. It's a possibility they would have seen at least a bear or something. I mean, it's all over the state. Truth be told,
yeah, it is.
it's not like it's just in one section of the state. It's all over.
Yeah. And
So, I don't know. To me, I think it could be a bear of some kind.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
the
could
only
be.
thing because think of it, if somebody turned around and they saw something standing there and they shot it, a bear walks around. Bears do stand up on their back,
They do.
their hindquarters.
they do that.
Do.
So it's possible. But then again, I mean, it was in the 1800s. Nobody took a photo of it. So,
That's true.
but
Well, all right.
interesting thing.
Well, so that takes us over to my topic, which is the Alabama white thing.
Yes, you have
Which
to
is-
say it the right way.
I don't want to say it like that. It's so dumb the way they say it. Oh, I mean, it's not dumb the way they say it. It's just how their accent is. And when you're doing a documentation on it and you don't have the same accent and you're just saying it's the white thing or the white thing,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
nothing against
That's
it.
the
It's
thing.
just I have to convince myself to say it that way every time.
yeah, because whenever you do it popped up in some of my research as well. It is literally spelled out THANG.
Yes,
Thang.
it's not thing. It's thang.
Yes, thang.
It's a thang.
Which,
Don't you worry about a thing. Isn't that how it goes? Anyway, so crap. Funny enough, we were talking about, and we probably shouldn't talk about the stories to each other more or less. We just talk about the creatures normally, about which one we're going to do.
oh crap, yeah, look, there's Huntsville right there.
Yes. So this is the funny thing. So these two cryptids, have been seen in the same area.
Yeah.
It's leading us to believe maybe that it could be the same thing, and or what I'm thinking is it's either the same thing or the same type of thing, different colors. Because
Yeah.
they never said that thing was all white.
No, they didn't. However, but the thing is, if they're describing it as half man, half animal, which is that this thing, I believe, is, like how it's been described, even
Yeah.
though it's covered all in white hair, they described it as being completely covered in hair at the same time.
Exactly. So it's pretty funny. So when we were looking it up, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's in Winston County," and I went, "Okay, that's weird." He's like, "Yeah, there's a story about a guy that went through Lynn," and I went, "What the crap? This is the same stuff that I looked up."
Yeah.
So the Alabama white thing, it's been seen since the 1840s. So actually, mine's been seen before yours has.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So they're saying it's 7 foot tall, covered in white fur, and has red eyes. So classic albinoism or albinism, however you say it.
Something like that.
So within the Alabama, area,
Do you want me to pull this up there?
yeah, There's the sightings that were reported, in kind of the same free government site that we found, and from some other areas that I could find online. Pulled up this section here, which is basically the same area. You've got Lynn right in here. It's a smaller town than some of these bigger guys, so it doesn't zoom in right away. But so in this section here, that's 1,400 square miles that these things have been seen. So in 3 different areas.
Yep.
Now I'm sure if we lined up that bear map that we had up before with sightings, I'm sure it would be lining up in the same area. But you got sightings in Happy Hollow, Walnut Grove, Moody's Chapel, and the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge. Now, a lot of things talk about it moves quickly. Like it's, and it has the same type of thing, like you said, a woman's scream. So very notable that way. So, oddly enough, Lynn County is 70 miles from the center of the sightings. I think it's the furthest south section.
Which one? This
Down
one?
here. It's one of those guys.
It says Blount County, you mean?
No, it's supposed to be Lynn.
Or do you mean the city of Lynn?
The city of Lynn. Either way. So, I'll go into my sightings here. And what's cool is I was able in the census data to find all these people. So I've got 4 sightings. Basically, 4 people who claim to have seen it. So in Lynn, and these people are all Lynn County natives back in the 1800s.
So this is where Lynn is over here. That's Lynn City.
Okay.
So you meant Lynn County?
Yep. Lynn. Just put L. Just either way. So I guess it wouldn't be the county because it's in Winston County.
Yeah, it's Winston County.
So yeah. So my bad. It's not.
Well,
it's a little bit further than 70 miles from the center end of that, but
it's all good.
It's kind of in the same section of what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's in the same. I mean, this is. If you see this dot right, Mike, you see this dotted line right here? That's everything in Winston County.
Oh, really?
Right there. Yep.
Dang.
Yep.
So I
think.
Let me give you that one.
Unless I just ate my own words again.
So I just need to double check one little guy to make sure I'm not gonna. Where's my document?
Which one?
Where's the free Winston State thing?
Oh, it's right here. It's over here.
Okay. Okay, yeah, it was in the... What the heck? That's not the same thing I was looking at before. Census data... So that's the 50s. That's the 30s. Oh, okay, never mind. Mine were after yours. I was right. It was in the 1930s, not in the 1830s.
Oh, that's interesting.
My bad. Excuse everything. So mine account after yours. So whatever creature yours had might have had stuff happen where mine was had albinism afterwards. But so Otis Thomas back in 1930, who would have been 7 at the time, he saw it with his brother, who is Edward Thomas, and he would have been 9. They ran off. Excuse me. They ran away from it. His brother said, "Oh, there's that white thing," and they ran off. And his brother thought it was like a hound of some kind. Fast forward a little bit, Nathan Thomas, and from what I can find, they're not. I don't know if they're related or not. It might just be a name that goes around down there. He's coming back from Florida by bus, and he walked out towards near Nauvoo. Nauvoo, it's Nauvoo. He said he came across a creek and he heard some stomping behind him, like pump, 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 pump. And he turned around and the white thing was chasing him.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird because, like, going back to the booger thing, it likes to follow behind people.
That's weird.
Because it was tracking the other dude down that was doing the moonshining.
Yeah.
So
this guy runs up a tree and hides it. Now, I don't know why the heck he would run up a tree. If I saw a 7-foot tall creature, my first thought would be like, I think could climb a tree.
Yeah.
They can grab me. But apparently he climbed up a tree, stayed up there till the evening, and the white thing laid down at the bottom of it, gnawed at the tree, bat at the tree and stuff, and yelled at him while he was up there.
It gnawed at the tree?
Yeah.
It bit at it?
Yep. I'm just going based off of this report.
That's interesting. It's a big beaver.
So there's one more set of people, Arthur Martin, and then Jesse Thompson. There's Jesse Thomas. So Arthur Martin, I found information on. He was also a Lynn native, and he is 18 at the time. And then I couldn't find the age of Jesse Thomas, but she must not have been from the same area.
Mm-hmm.
But they were just biking down a road. They just saw it on the side of the road, just grazing, just eating grass and stuff, just like an animal. And then they turned around, went back, and their friends all went down the same road. And were like, yeah, we saw it too. It's a very weird set of events. It's not, and it hasn't really been seen too much now. I guess it was just the folklore is passed on from, years and years and years down the line.
It's the whole thing like with the Downy Booger thing, that they just kind of like say, yeah, this happened, and they continue the story.
Yeah, it's odd. We don't have a lot of folklore, but the ones we do, it always seems to be the same type of creature. What's the problem with 7 feet too? Everything has to be creepy as 7 foot tall.
Apparently so.
Because mine was 7 foot tall, yours was 7 foot tall.
Yeah, around there.
Oh, and to kind of channel the skunk ape, a lot of reports say that the white thing has a very strong skunk smell.
Yeah, dead or dying animals as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So smells really bad, really big creature.
Screams like a woman.
Yep. Which is funny because that skunk ape was like that too.
Yep. And that's why I'm thinking like
maybe it does give it credence that there is something that could exist like that. I mean, if it is being reported even in different instances and different kind of like...
I mean, Alabama and Florida are right next to each other.
Yep.
So if something was that big, it would have to have grounds to stomp around. So that means that it could, if it's that big, it would have a bigger like predatory range or whatever it eats or however it grazes or whatever. If it's an actual animal, it would have to move around quite a bit, especially if it's that big.
That's true. And if you are watching on YouTube and you've been seeing these pictures up here and you've been confused, so
The last one.
this is somebody's rendition of the white thing right here, which is like just a white Sasquatch with big nipples.
It looks like they took a Calvin Klein model. You see how his stance?
Yeah,
Look at his power stance.
yeah, with that arm back.
He's like got his hip. If you're listening, he's got his hips canted a little bit to the side. He's got like a weird... It literally looks like they took a Calvin Klein model, added white fur to him, shoved his nose up a little bit to where it looks more ape-like, pretty much.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
That's funny.
and now apparently, some pretty strange accounts of it say that it is a 7 foot tall kangaroo cat.
Kangaroo cat.
Excuse me.
And if you're listening again, it's
Badly
it's literally just a cat head
on a kangaroo body.
on a kangaroo body that has been photoshopped white.
Yep. Very fun. So there's also a documentary on the Alabama white thing from a channel called Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal. It's on YouTube. I haven't watched it mainly because I was just, I was already reading more about this than I wanted to. This one wasn't a fun one for me.
Yeah, it was interesting. So, with that being said, there's also a couple other like local legends and creepy things that have been reported as cryptids or monsters and whatever. One of them being this last one that I thought was kind of interesting. If you can't really see it, that's fine. It's the what is it? The Metal Man.
Metal Man.
Basically, somebody said that there was a report of a UFO that crashed somewhere in Alabama. I'll have to pull up the story again. But basically, when the sheriff heard about it, he's like, "Oh crap, I better go out there." And he brought his camera, and supposedly that's the photo of it. And I don't know if that's a hoax or not. If I saw that at night, I don't care if it's somebody in a suit. That's still creepy to me.
Oh yeah.
Just standing there and all reflective, just being weird. And then there was a couple other local legends.
What was that mommy hugger one?
No, Huggin' Molly.
Hugging Molly.
Huggin' Molly. Let me pull up where it actually originated from in Alabama. And this one's a little bit. It's got its own restaurant, Huggin' Molly's.
It does?
Yes, it does. Yeah, that's in Abbeville, Alabama. So the story goes that if you're out past the time that your parents want you to be home at, whether it be like super late at night or just past dark, the local legend is that Huggin' Molly, who is a 7-foot creature,
7-foot tall creature.
and
Always.
apparently from what they said, like wide as a bus too, like huge, like a
Ooh,
big
boy!
It's thick. Well, anyways, but basically, the idea behind it is kind of creepy too, because if you're a parent, it's awesome because it'll scare your kids into coming home. But as a child, that's terrifying because what she does is supposedly she finds you. When she finds you, she grabs you like on the shoulders, like hard, and screeches in your ear, and like, but that's it.
But
And
she just lets you go.
lets you go, and just basically saying you need to go home. And the story goes like, I think the story is something along the line of like she lost her own child, and that's why she does it, and things like that. But
She's as big as a truck.
she's dead, so she's a ghost, and she just chose that form for some reason.
Weird.
But basically, yeah, it's been good. That story's gone on for generations, apparently.
Hugging Molly's a Tonka truck.
And there was also another story called the Wolf Woman of Mobile, Alabama.
Yes.
This one,
That one was interesting.
yeah,
I thought that was pretty funny. A lot of reports were coming in around the beginning of April, and people were getting phone calls to the police that there was a half woman, half wolf reportedly seen.
she was pretty and pretty hairy. That's what. Hey, I'm not. That's what I saw. That's what somebody wrote about it.
I mean, which part of her was the wolf?
The top part.
No, the bottom part.
Oh, sorry. I thought you. So this is an artist.
So it's just like the bad version of a mermaid.
bad version of a mermaid.
You never you don't ever want to find a mermaid that's like that. You want to find it backwards.
Shut up.
Just saying, that's the
So-
worst kind.
Oh my goodness. I haven't really looked at this one. It's all big like that. Look at the fingers.
I love that it has regular hands on the front ones, but it still walks
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Yeah, but I swear the thing said it was pretty and pretty hairy at the same time.
Well, well,
So that's kind of funny to me.
that one, like we said, came out around the beginning of April, so we're thinking probably an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. People were saying that it popped up,
Well, did you see that story of a guy who identified as an elk?
and he got shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wonder if that was it. That's a weird picture.
Oh, I don't like these photos at all.
Oh.
So, and then another thing though, these types of. Oh crap! It just spilled on your carpet a little.
Oh, you doofus.
Hold on a second.
It's okay. Well, there's a napkin down there behind you. While he cleans that up, I'm gonna look at this picture here. It looks like there was a. It says there's a blurry picture of it.
I don't know if
That's not a real picture.
no, that's
is
not
it?
a real photo. It looks
It's
like
a concept.
yeah, it looks like somebody took.
I do like that.
other photo.
That's just says credit. That doesn't say it's a concept image. So oddly enough, though, wolf people like werewolves and stuff like that have existed for a very long time.
yeah, it's
so-
pervaded multiple cultures and stuff like that. Native Americans have different mythologies going around the idea of anthropomorphic animals.
There you go.
Yeah, big
You
word.
got it.
And things like that. And wait, scroll back down. What did that say about skinwalkers?
They're saying, well, anything like that normally is like a skinwalker or skinwalkers take many forms. So they'll take
So they can
human
take-
form, they'll take an animal form, they'll take an in-between, stuff like that. I'm trying to zoom in on this image.
Old Z. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
That's fake.
well, of course it's fake. It's a wolf woman.
I just mean like
Yeah, it's a really bad image.
There's
let me see.
somebody purposely like it looks like it's been faded out, but it's just looks like somebody cropped a woman's head onto a Great Dane's body.
I wonder if you get her a treat. Just like, she'll calm down.
Here's some chocolate. Oh no!
Yeah. You think chocolate would kill it?
Probably.
But do you think because it's half woman and half, wolf, she's like, I really want chocolate, but it is actually bad for me. Like not like when someone says, "Oh, I can't eat that; it'll kill me." No, it's like she'll eat that. And it'll kill her.
eat it all. It hurts my body so.
Anyway, though, so that's really what that we had for this week. We've got some more stuff coming. Next week will be Alaska for sure, and we won't continuously say a different state. After Alaska's Arkansas, and then I don't know the ones after that. We're gonna get a big state.
Yeah, we're gonna get a big map thing. That
Big
we'll put
mappy
right
boy.
here. That way we can take the prominent cryptids that we have that we've gone over. So like in Florida, skunk ape, blop,
Yep.
and then
White thing.
white thing or Sasquatch.
Yep.
By the end of it, I'm going to probably put together a Venn diagram of how many things turn out to be creepy things that we don't know. Sasquatch. Which I think is going to be a lot of that.
That would be pretty good. So anyway, thank y'all for tuning in again. Always be sure to check back. We're going to try to do this every week.
Yep.
Like we said, we're going to go through the 50 states, and then we'll figure out where we go after that. But we do have Spotify is another place where you can find this podcast. The link will be in the description. It's the link in the description of the channel as well.
Yep.
So if you can't watch, you can listen. And then if you are listening to this on Spotify, we've got the YouTube channel. It's just the Cryptwins. And Spotify is the Cryptwins as well. So, yeah, look forward to having you guys listen to our stories.
It's fun. And, yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully we get some other
Alaska.
stuff. It is Alaska.
It is Alaska, so.
So, you think we should have, just closing out here, do you think we should have like an Instagram page or something like that where we can put these pictures? Something like that?
We can.
We'll figure that out.
But we got to figure, if we're going to do that, we're going to have to figure out who we have well, we're not that important, so copyright doesn't matter that much to us right now.
All the images I found are not copyright.
Okay.
And if they're on if they're on like a news channel, doesn't that mean they're not copyrighted?
I don't know. So we're going to have to do some more legal searching, but yeah, that might be good in the future. When we find creepy things and things of that nature, we'll probably throw it on we'll probably make an Instagram, put different creepy things on there. That's where we could probably find like, just peruse around the internet, see if what people have said about creepy things popping up today.
Well, if I link to the person, and then like give credit, like, hey, this isn't mine, this is that person's.
I don't know.
I think that works. Either way,
Kind of the idea of paying people through exposure, but yeah.
exposed.
So, anyways, that's it.
Thank y'all for stopping by. See y'all next week.
Like, share, subscribe if you want.
All that fun stuff.
We'll keep doing it, even if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Bye-yo!
See you guys.